Let me make way for some royalty here. Ernie Johnson, Turner Sports Studio host, and he's got a book, Unscripted, The Unpredictable Moments That Make Life Extraordinary. Nominated for a 2019 Sports Emmy, Outstanding Sports Personality. Please say hello to TNT's Ernie Johnson. Oh, yeah, doing some tricks there. Ernie's all decked out. Ernie's going to take his good old time. He's admiring his home here.
Where am I going? This way or that way?
Around there. Good Ernie. This way, Ernie.
I was just looking at U.S. Bank Stadium through the
No, I know.
Minneapolis fog this morning.
You look like you're ready to go on the air.
I've got responsibilities today.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Coaches versus Cancer luncheon.
Oh, nice. You're the host?
Going to be right over there. Yeah. Going to MC that, and so that's happening after I get done here.
Nice socks you got.
Life is too short to wear boring socks.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's see the socks.
Well, we're ready to play basketball. Yeah.
All right, we're working on it down here on the end.
Oh,
how about your socks?
I just have
little
Under Armour socks.
Okay.
Yeah, just little basketball socks.
Very good.
In case a game breaks out.
How are you, man?
I'm great. I am. I'm great. And what's the ring you got on?
That is the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. I was inducted this year. My dad was inducted 9 years ago, and so we're kind of, it's very special to me. I wear that, and I can't help but think about him, and it's very cool.
Did you ever think about doing something different? When you were growing up?
Yeah, you know what? It was baseball player first. Because, my dad played, and so I grew up in that kind of a family. And so that was the goal, was to be a Major League Baseball player. And I've told this story a million times, so you can laugh at it if you care to.
No, we're good at fake laughter.
Okay. Oh, this will be good then.
I'm just practicing.
So I walked on at the University of Georgia as a freshman. Okay. Made the team. Yeah. Was told to walk off as a sophomore. It's true.
Seton, you can do better.
It's true.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that's as far as that went. And I actually thought I'd be an English teacher and a baseball coach if baseball didn't work out.
You can still do that.
Yeah, but then I started trying this. Working at the campus radio station at Georgia.
What was your first paying job?
First paying job was WAGQ, Q105 in Athens, where I was the news and sports director. And this is after a summer internship at WLAQ in Rome, Georgia, country radio station.
Killing it.
Oh, I was, man.
How much do you remember your paycheck?
Oh, no, it was just so, it was something, which was great. And what was stupid about it is I wanted to work at a real radio station. And so I went and interviewed at Q105, and I didn't even have an audition tape with me. I had worked at the campus radio station, but I showed up there, and the guy says, "Well, let me hear you. Let me hear your." And I was like, "I don't have an air check." Well, how do you expect us to hire? Well, I've been doing this, and he said, "Okay, we'll take a shot."
When did you know you were good?
That's such an uncomfortable question.
Why?
Because I knew for a long time when I was bad. That's for sure.
No, I knew.
I listened to those old WUOG. The first assignment I had was Hockey Corner, and this is 1975. It's WUOG Hockey Corner. I'm Ernie Johnson, and I was explaining the game of hockey because it was relatively new to the city of Atlanta. The game is played on a rink of frozen ice. They use a hard rubber puck. Oh man, I found that reel to reel one day and I popped it on and I was like, how did I ever stay in this? I should be an English teacher and a baseball coach. But no, I think you get better at what you do when you're surrounded with good people, and I've always had that.
But I think I realized it when I got to ESPN, and like there was a moment that it was real when I wasn't nervous and I was being myself for the first time.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think preparation is behind all that. When you're prepared and you never feel like, look, the basket could break tonight and they could throw it to me for a half hour and I could do it, And I think that happened when I was at Turner. When I was at the ABC affiliate in Atlanta, there were still those times where when the red light went on. It was just like, and you fumbled for just a second, then and you felt like everybody at home was going, Martha, come over here, watch this kid trying to read the news. Pretty funny, you know. So, but I think at Turner it got to the point where if you had a mistake, you just kind of you played it off. I grew up watching Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was the guy I watched every night when I was growing up, and I loved the way he, you know, a lot of times he was funnier when things were not going well.
Yeah.
He played things off so well, and I think that's always been something that I've said, look, it's not the end of the world if you screw up a line.
And I tell that to my broadcast students. If you make a mistake, own the mistake. And there's nothing wrong with making fun of yourself, because get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to take that weapon away from you. If you make a mistake, and I say this to the Dana, you make a mistake, then you just say, I made a mistake. Because then people, I think, identify with you that you're willing to say that, and we move on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it takes a while to get through that, because the first few times you're on the air and you do make a mistake, you feel like, that must have taken a week and a half for me to finally correct that. And then you look at it back and say, it really wasn't that bad. And I treated it way too seriously.
Well, the first time I was ever on the air at CNN, first time, my microphone didn't work. So I'm there.
And you think it's...
And I'm killing it. Like, I'm looking at that camera, and I'm killing it. And it's, you know, looking like that. And then all of a sudden, you have one of the anchors, not Lou Dobbs, I forget who, Waters, I think his name was. So you can see his hand reaching in to grab the microphone and then give it back. And then I got through. Fast forward to a Sunday night doing SportsCenter. I open the show. I don't have my microphone on. I'm with Oberman, and I'm just one of these things. Oberman's hand comes over, puts his microphone on my tie, and then I get done, and I go, Keith, and then he motions back I have to give him his microphone back.
Yeah.
But, you know, we embraced it, and then you move on.
The way it is these days, you know, if somebody does something like that or shows up without a microphone, we would stop the show right now. We will stop the show and make fun of the guy for the next 5 minutes. Like, I mean, if Charles sits down and he's got a spot on his tie because he spilled some dinner, I mean, there are times where we'll come on and it'll just be a tight shot of the tie. Then we'll pull back. We'll have him explain how the spill got there. Whereas at a time, it was never let something like that happen on TV. Oh, tell him he's got a spot on his tie. But we live for that now. And do I have a second for a story?
Yeah.
Because when you start going down this road and remembering things like that, and I can remember, I'm anchoring the weekend sports at WSB in Atlanta. And when you do the weekend sports, you are just working so hard. You're editing, you're trying to get the show 7 minutes, you know, all prepared. I hadn't paid any attention to the news. So I get on the sports, and we're doing British Open highlights, and Greg Norman is hitting a shot out of stuff like is this high. And I say, so here's Greg Norman doing his best Marlon Perkins, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. We go to commercial break. News anchor looks at me and says, what are you doing? I said, it's Greg Norman, who's at the British Open. He says, we did the Marlon Perkins obit in the second segment.
Oh, no.
Would have been nice to know that before I went down that road.
Yeah, maybe you should have watched the news that you're on.
I was too busy, Dan.
I'm sure you were.
I was editing British Open highlights when they were doing the Marlon Perkins obit. So that's just horrible.
You remember your first show with Barkley? Anything stand out?
Yeah, I can remember he and Kenny coming out for halftime again, as they always do, about 30 seconds before we go on the air, and Charles asking Kenny. He said, what are you going to say when we talk about this? You know, I don't even remember the topic. Kenny says, you'll find out. And that basically set the tone for the rest of for the next 20 years, is that we were not going to sit down and say, second segment, we're talking about the Clippers, and then, you know, so you be ready with something, you be ready with something. It's like, whatever you got in the saddlebag, let's hear it.
Save it for the show.
Oh, you won't believe how many times I say that, because these guys will start getting into something, you know, on the set, in a commercial break, and Shaq, how can you say, just don't go there.
Yeah.
This sounds like it will really be good, so let's wait. And that's the way it's been for years.
I remember doing that with Rob Dibble when I was doing my radio show with the former Nasty Boy. And he would always have these moments during commercial break. He'd go, yeah, I remember when we stole this beer truck, we were in minor. And he'd go, no, hold on. Oh, no, stop,
Yeah.
right there.
I don't want to hear any more.
And then he goes, yeah, I dated this girl at Applebee's, and she had black teeth. Hold on, stop right there. And then I would say, Dibs, did you date when you were in the minors? And he goes, and then he looks at me like, you already know what the story is. And then I had to teach him, tell the story as if I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then he gave the great story. He goes, I dated this girl who was so pretty, had horrible teeth, so I made sure that I didn't tell her any funny jokes because I didn't want to see her teeth. So he said, I really liked her, but I just didn't want her to smile because she had bad teeth.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
But aren't there are certainly stories that you will not get into on the air, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, because we all know that stuff. So, I mean, there are things that I will not go into with Shaq and Kenny and Chuck, even though I know the story.
Yes.
Because you know what line you can cross and what would not be a good idea.
And you've crossed some lines there.
Yeah, there have been a few times.
There have been.
Lines have been crossed. Yeah.
He is Ernie Johnson. Congrats on the sports Emmy nomination.
Thank
Pretty
you.
good.
I appreciate it. And to you guys, too, for the show. And our Inside the NBA was nominated, too. And I think we feel the same way that you feel when it's everybody who's involved in the show. It's all the studio folks. It's all the production folks. It's everybody takes real pride in that because everybody is part of that show.
But to be candid, we're not rooting for you guys.
I know.
Okay. I know.
Just That's fine.
Like, it's every man, every show for themselves.
Oh, without question. I hope you guys win.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really
Ernie's the bigger man here. Yeah. Ernie. It is true. It is true. Ernie is the bigger man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No.
We're all in the family.
I know.
hope you win.
It would be great because you're right.
We'll have some reflected glory in your victory because we're in the same family.
We actually go to, we have a loser's bar that we go to. Because I lose every year to Costas, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I feel
I've been down that road.
Yeah, I feel like Patrick Ewing or, Stockton and Malone. You're not going to win a title during the Jordan era, and that's the Costas era. Yeah. So, but you got one. I think we both stole one from Costas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And so we'll see. But I think it's always cool just to, look at the list and say, hey, that's nice. Okay.
No, I'm past that. I'm past that. He's the great Ernie Johnson, nominated for Sports Emmy, Outstanding Sports Personality Studio Host.
So it's not a pleasure to be nominated.
No, not anymore. No, it's a pleasure to win. Thank you, Ernie. Great to see you, bud.
It's my pleasure.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.